Okay, so we're going to start today from a kneeling position towards the back of your mat or your space, leaving space in front of you. So come on down to your knees and then sit onto your heels. You can have a little cushion in between your thighs and your calves to have a little bit of cushioning if that's what you feel like you need. And we're just going to have a little breather to really settle into the practice, to come into the moment and to come into your body. So bring your hands onto your heart center, one over the other, or you can bring one onto your belly or just place them in your lap, wherever feels comfortable. And we're just going to take 10 really slow breaths, drawing your awareness to your breath. So inhale, deep breath, feel the rise in your body and your torso expanding. And exhale, feel everything sink down, letting go of tension, loosening your joints, arriving in your mat. Keep breathing. Breathe at your own pace. Maybe you can extend your exhale by contracting your throat a little bit so that your breath makes an ocean whooshing sound, a kind of sound so that you can hear the exhale like you're stepping into a really warm bath and you feel really good. It's that kind of sound. Keep breathing. Tune into how your body feels as you breathe, the feeling of the floor under your legs, the relaxation of your joints as you exhale, where your body is in the space, the air, the heat, the sounds around you. Take 2 more deep breaths. Let go of any tension on your forehead. One last breath. Good. Okay, so open your eyes if you haven't already. And just bring your hands out in front of you and start to circle your wrists, circle your fingers as well, wiggle your fingers, really warm up those hands. And then bring your hands down onto the floor. Make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, tuck your toes underneath. See if you can already wrap those upper arms in towards each other, bringing your elbows into a straight line. And we're going to press the hips on up into your first downwards facing dog, keeping the knees bent if it feels good on your hamstrings, or lengthening up a little bit if that feels okay for you. So find this position. Your fingertips pressing down, strengthen the hands, wrapping those upper arms, strengthen the arms. Spine reaching long away from the neck, up into the hips. Scooping up the belly button a little bit to support the back. And feel the length going down your calves, trying to ground your heels down. Keeping with that deep breath you already accessed. And then draw your weight forwards, come back down onto your knees. Good. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Press on up, downwards facing dog. And rock it down, tabletop. Press it up, downwards facing dog. Rock it down, tabletop. One last time, press it up, downwards facing dog. Maybe lengthen your knees a little bit more. Alright, drop back down onto those knees and we're going to thread the needle. So lift up the left hand towards the sky. Twist and open. Exhale, draw the hand through the space between the other hand and the knee, dropping that shoulder blade down. Deep breaths. Alright, untwist, reach back up towards the sky. Exhale, plant that hand down, repeat on the right side, lift it up, twist, open out. Exhale, draw the hand through the space, shoulder blade coming down towards the ground. Just leaving your supporting hand where it is. If that feels good, you can always take it off if you have done that version before. But just sticking to the basics today. Alright, untwist, lift it back up. And as you exhale and plant your hand down, plant your hand further forward and then bring your left hand to join it. We're moving into puppy pose. Inhale where you are. And exhale, let your chest sink down between your shoulders. Staying here for a few breaths. Every time you exhale, sinking a little deeper. Alright, come back up, walk your hands underneath your shoulders and we're going to press on up to downwards facing dog one more time. Looking forwards, walk your feet towards your wrists until your feet are comfortable, the weight can come out of your hands and just fold into this forwards fold over your hips, maybe having a little sway. Then we're going to lengthen the spine, come all the way up to standing and find your mountain pose. Toes together at the front of your mat, pressing the joints of the big toes together. Hands coming into prayer position at heart center. Long spine reaching up towards the sky, deep breaths. So opening out a little bit more, clasp your hands together, your fingers coming together, press your palms forward, reach your upper back. Backwards, inhale, reach everything up, open out your chest. Exhale, release, draw your hands down your back into this full heart opener. Alright, let's do that 2 more times. Press. Inhale, reach. Exhale, let go. 1 more time, press. Inhale, reach. Exhale, let go. Okay, good. Bend your knees, we're going to press the legs together, sweep the hands along the mat, come on up into chair pose, so sitting down into those heels, weight back over those heels, bending the knees, spine reaching up long, palms pressing together. If that feels good, you can always keep the arms wide. Few deep breaths here, finding the strength, waking up the legs. 1 more inhale. Exhale. And moving on, inhale. Lengthen your legs, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forwards over the legs. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to high plank. Lowering all the way down, elbows close. Inhale, press up, upwards facing dog. Exhale, roll back into your downwards facing dog. Take a few deep breaths. Wrapping those arms, lengthening the spine, keep breathing. And look forwards, walk to the front of your mat, toes coming together, half lift. Exhale, fold over your legs, bend your knees, squeeze your legs together, sweep those fingertips along the mat, come on up to chair pose. Deep breaths. And inhale. Exhale, stand on up, back to mountain pose. Okay, again, sweep the fingertips, bend the knees. Inhale, come up to chair pose. Take a few breaths here. Maybe close your eyes, see where your balance is. And we're going to inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Lengthen your head away from your hips. Plant your hands, exhale, step it back. Lower down. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, press. Downwards facing dog. And we're going to keep it moving, so lift up the left leg towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest. See if you can plant the foot in between the hands. Walk the back heel down. Come on up with the body. Reach on up towards the sky. Make sure the front foot is further forward than the bent knee. And find your warrior one. Spread out your toes. Find your balance in between your feet. Lifting up out of the hips. Deep breaths. One more inhale. And open out your hips towards the long edge of the mat. Arms into a T shape. Find warrior two. Deep breaths. And we're taking reverse warrior, so lengthen your back arm, the one the same as your lengthened leg, out and then reach down the leg, reach up and over. Moving into the side body, stretching out. Alright, reach it back to warrior two. Reach the hips back towards the front of the mat, tuck the back toes under, reach on up into a high lunge. Again, see if you can feel the space in your body rising up out of your hips. And then we're going to bring the right arm down so the opposite arm to the front leg. Beside the foot, twist and open. Into this twisted lunge. Good, deep breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, plant the other hand down either side of the front foot. Step it back to high plank. Lower down, exhale. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, press it back. Downwards facing dog. Repeating on the other side. Lift up the right leg. Inhale. Exhale, knee in towards the chest. See if you can plant the foot in between the hands. Back heel down, reach the body up. Warrior one. A few breaths here. Grounding down the feet. Spread out the toes, lift up out of the hips. Moving through the tension in your body, and with your exhale letting it go. Open out the hips, arms into a T-shape, warrior two. Deep breaths. Really tuning into that breath to bring your awareness into your body and out of your head. Enjoy the feeling of your body. Alright, arm lengthening away from the front, reaching towards the back, lengthened leg and up and over for reverse warrior. And back to warrior two. Hips coming to the front of the mat. Tuck the back toes under, high lunge. Reach on up. Reach the body out of the hips. And then bring the left hand down on the inside of the front leg. Twist open into a twisted lunge. Deep breaths. Keeping that awareness in the body. Letting go of any judgments or concerns that aren't real, that are the perception in your head. And focusing on feeling what's real in this moment. Alright, plant the other hand down beside the foot, step it back to that high plank, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Wrap the upper arms in towards each other. Make sure the wrists are underneath the shoulder. Draw the pelvis into line. And release the hips down into a high cobra. Shoulder blades coming down the back, neck reaching out. If this is too much, come down onto your elbows and pull your chest through into a low cobra. Whatever feels good for you. Keep the knees facing down into the mat. And keep the breath flowing in your chest, in your belly. Alright, press into the fingertips. Sit back onto your heels into child's pose. Deep breaths to stretch out the back. Connect your forehead to the ground if you can. Might be the only time today that you do that. And draw your hands back towards you as you sit on up. Sit over one side and then release your legs forward so that you're sitting down. Find a comfortable cross-legged position. Maybe sit on a pillow if you want to lift your hips up a little bit to be more comfortable. And then bring your hands onto your knees. And we're going to inhale, exhale. And now as you inhale, draw your body forwards. As you exhale, circle it around back. So find these body circles, reaching your chest forward as you come forward and inhale, reaching it back as you exhale and circle back around. Deep breaths moving with your body, releasing your hips, releasing your back, your chest, your shoulders. Alright, move the other way. Inhaling as you come forwards, exhaling as you reach back. Closing your eyes if this feels good, tuning into how your body feels. And on your next exhale, pause and come back to center. Straight neutral spine, reach on up with your hands, look on up, inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down beside you, chin dropping in towards your chest. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, lower it down. As your chin drops, your neck rises up. Inhale, reach up. One last time, exhale. Lengthen down, reach over towards the right or the left side, doesn't matter. Elbow down if that feels good, or stay on the fingertips, or reaching over to the side. Keep both sit bones planted. Reaching up and out of the hips to lean as far away as you can. Instead of focusing on crunching towards the floor, you're lifting out of the hips, reaching the head as far from the body as you can. Alright, lean forward, reach forward with your arms, move to the other side. Long line, head reaching out of the hips. Alright, move back to the first side by reaching forward with the arms. And one last time to the other side. Reach up and over. Alright, come back up straight. Reach those legs out in front of you, long line. Bend the knee a little bit if it's a lot on your hamstrings, or draw the knees up towards your hips. Reach on up with the arms, inhale, toes flexing towards you. Exhale, drawing forwards, chest reaching forwards into a forwards fold. And again, like we were in the side to side stretches, focusing on lengthening the head and the chest as far away from the hips as you can, instead of thinking about crunching towards the legs. That doesn't matter. We're focusing on the length, creating space between your joints. Two more deep breaths. And like in child's pose, draw your hands back towards you as you sit on up, and then keep the hands moving back 2 feet distance behind you. You can either bring your feet in for more support, or if you're feeling good, keep your legs long in a reverse plank. So we're going to lift on up, draw the hips up, open the chest through the shoulder blades, keep the neck in line with the spine, and wrap those upper arms in towards each other. Deep breaths. So you could be doing this with the feet in, reverse tabletop, lifting the hips up a little higher. Keep breathing. Good, and sit on back down. Alright, cross those legs. Reach forwards with the arms. See if you can roll forwards over the knees or just swing them around. Step back into plank. Wrapping those upper arms one more time in this normal forwards plank, drawing the belly in towards you. Deep breaths. One more deep breath. And exhale, walk the feet in towards the wrists. Forwards fold over the legs. Make sure those feet are hip distance apart, the same as what the wrists would have been. And see if this forwards fold is any different to the earlier one. Lengthen your spine, rise all the way up, feet coming together. Hands in prayer position, mountain pose. Spread out your toes, lengthen up in your spine, find your breath. Moving into a last little standing section to really find your feet. So moving into tree pose first. So pick a leg, doesn't really matter which. I'm going to balance on the left, pick up the right. So either heel coming to ankle, keeping the ball of the foot on the floor for more support, or coming through center to the calf, or missing the knee joint if you're feeling like there's looseness in your hips today, coming to the top of the thigh. Hands coming to prayer position. And finding a spot to focus on can be good. So a spot on the floor, on the wall in front of you, or in the space that you can zone in your attention and really spread out those bottom toes. Find the stillness. Keep breathing. Alright, bring the knee in towards the chest, keeping the leg off. We're going to stretch it back into warrior 3, so reach the leg back away from you, body coming down. You can bring the arms down to the ground for that support, or you can reach them out in front of you. Drawing up the underneath knee, reaching the foot that's in the air away from the head. Alright, if your arms are down, or if they're not, we're going to open out. So if your arms are down, keep your left hand on the ground, the same as the front leg. If you're on the other leg, it'll be the right, and open out the hips towards the long edge of the mat. And step it back. Both legs long into this pyramid triangle position, so the back foot's turned in a little bit, the front foot is facing the front of the mat. We're moving into triangle pose, arms coming wide, inhale. Exhale, fold, stretch sideways and forwards towards the front leg, reaching for the shin, the ankle, or hooking the big toe with the first 2 fingers, reaching up towards the sky with the other. Knees pulling up towards you. Really working that knee joint, not sitting into it. Alright, inhale, come back up. Reach the other way, but this time wrap the back arm around your back, reaching up and over. Deep breaths. Alright, we're reaching it back forwards. Unwind those arms and windmill one arm, the other arm down towards the ground. Tuck the back knee down. Walk the front foot a little bit further forwards. Find your low lunge. Releasing your back toes if that feels good, and working on releasing those hips down. Keep your hands pressing down if that feels good for you. You can always reach them up if it feels better on your back, on your chest. Or keep the hands down. Spreading out the fingers and grounding down. Okay, tuck the back toes. Lengthen the back knee off of the mat and see if you can walk the back foot forwards to the front. Lengthen and rise all the way up. We're going to repeat on the other side, so finding your tree pose. I'm going to move this way with the other leg. Onto the ankle, onto the calf, or through the middle to the top of the thigh, whatever feels good for your hips, wherever you can find the stillness. Breathing into your whole body. Really tuning in, coming into the present moment, waking up a little bit. And moving back into Warrior 3. So bring the knee in towards the centre, keep the leg off, shuffle back a bit if you haven't got room in front of you, and reach the leg back. Arms either coming down or out in front of you into Warrior 3. Deep breaths. And we're going to open it out, hips opening towards the long edge of the mat. Same arm as leg down towards the ground, either planted or on the fingertips. And then step it back. So arms reaching wide, inhale. Exhale, fold sideways and forward to triangle pose. Arm coming to the shin, the ankle, hooking the big toe with the first two fingers. Reach it up towards the sky with the other arm. Deep breaths. Remember your toes, spreading them out, grounding down. Alright, come back on up and we're reversing this triangle pose, so wrapping the back arm around the body, reaching up and over, keep lifting up the belly button. And we're windmilling forward, so reach forwards again, unwind the back arm, both hands coming down beside the front foot. Shuffle a little bit to make sure that your front foot is beyond your knee where you're bending down, dropping the back knee. Release those hips down. So again, either staying here, planting the hands down, grounding down, or you can lift up the body if that feels better for you, reaching the arms up. One more deep breath. And exhale, if your hands aren't already down, bring them down. Tuck the back toes underneath, lift the back knee. And then instead of walking forwards, we're walking back. So draw the front foot to the back foot, coming into plank pose one more time. Drawing those arms in towards each other, belly rising, pelvis drawing in line. Breathing. One more deep breath. And drop the knees down. Sit back onto the heels. Sit off to one side and swing those legs around. And we're going to lie all the way down onto your back, moving towards the very end of the class. Draw your spine long along your mat. Tuck your chin a little bit to lengthen your neck, and drawing those knees in towards you. Reach for the backs of your thighs underneath your knees. And we're going to do some hip circles. So reach the knees out away from each other and circle them back on in. Using your hands completely, letting go of any strength, any tension in the hips. Deep breaths as you move. And reverse those circles. Good. Alright, knees coming in together. Reach your arms into a T shape if you have room. Cross your right thigh over your left, bending both knees. Let the knees fall towards the left side and keep both shoulder blades planted down if you can, if that feels good. Looking over your opposite shoulder for an extra stretch across the spine. Deep breaths every time you exhale, letting go a little bit more. Alright, coming back through center. Uncross your legs, cross left over right. This time bend both knees. Let the legs fall towards the right side, looking over the left shoulder if it feels good. And coming back to center, so just 2 more little stretches. Reach the legs up towards the sky, moving into happy baby. Hands coming to the outsides of the ankles. The feet are hooking those big toes with the first 2 fingers. Bend the knees towards the sides of the body, drawing the knees as close to the ground as you can. Releasing into those hips, feet coming wide. Rocking a little bit side to side like happy baby, if it feels good for you. Really releasing that lower back and the hips and the hamstrings. Alright, one more inhale. Exhale, release the hands from the feet. Plant the feet down and then reaching your arms above your head. Open your knees out towards the sides. Soles of the feet coming together into this reclining Baddha Konasana. Last stretch, last official pose of the practice. So let's take a deep inhale and a deeper exhale to let everything go and to arrive in this final pose. You can take that breath again, or return to normal breathing for a few breaths. Closing your eyes if you're comfortable, tuning into the relaxation in the joints and the release in the back. Alright, bring the hands in towards the chest. Roll over onto the right side, knees coming together. Plant the top hand, lengthen the top leg, press. Come all the way up to a comfortable cross-legged position. Let's take a little bit of a breather here again. Deep breaths. Coming back into your body. Do you feel any different? Do you feel any better? Anything else you want to move out? Take a little time now to draw your awareness in, take any extra movements that you feel like you want. And then bring your hand into prayer position if that feels good. And I want to thank you for joining in this practice today. I hope the rest of your day or your evening or tomorrow is really great and you're really tuned in to who you are and what you want and what you feel. So thank you, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.